Your $340 monthly subscription spend doesn't change how you feel about modern convenience. It changes how every streaming platform, SaaS company, and subscription business is algorithmically set up to treat you. There's a McKinsey Global Institute report from 2023 that classifies subscription economy growth at over 435% in the last decade, driven not by consumer demand, but by deliberate retention engineering. And here's the part that never makes the headlines. Every major subscription platform runs internal churn prevention models, and those models have a name for users who are about to cancel. They are called at-risk accounts. And the entire system surrounding that classification, the sudden discount offer, the pause option, the friction-loaded cancellation flow, exists for one reason: not to serve you, to survive you. You are not a customer to these platforms. You are a recurring revenue line on a retention dashboard. And the system built around keeping that line active has been running against you since the moment you entered your card details. This is not happening to a handful of disorganized spenders. Research from the subscription analytics firm C+R Research found that the average American spends over $900 a month on subscription services, and consistently underestimates that number by nearly 2.5 times when asked to self-report. Most people guess somewhere around $80 to $100. The actual bill is closer to $900. That gap between perception and reality is not accidental. It is the entire business model. Across the United States alone, the subscription economy extracts over $2.4 trillion annually from consumer spending, not from luxury buyers, from ordinary households, moderate incomes, genuine financial goals, people who believe they are making intentional spending decisions while an automated billing infrastructure quietly processes charges they stopped consciously choosing months or years ago. The people who built this system are not unsophisticated. They employ retention scientists, behavioral economists, and cancellation flow designers whose single performance metric is keeping your card on file, regardless of whether the product still delivers a single dollar of value to your life. Here's exactly how the subscription retention system is engineered against you. Mechanism 1. Anchored free trials. The free trial is not a gift. It is a behavioral tool. Research consistently shows that users who enter payment details during a free trial cancel at dramatically lower rates than those who pay up front, even when the product delivers identical value. The card on file creates psychological ownership before a single dollar is charged. The trial ends. The billing begins. Most users never consciously decide to subscribe. Mechanism 2. Pricing architecture. The $9.99 price point is not arbitrary. It sits precisely below the $10 threshold where consumer spending psychology shifts from automatic approval to active evaluation. Every subscription priced at $9.99, $12.99, or $14.99 is calibrated to avoid triggering the mental review process that would cause you to question whether the purchase is still worth making. Mechanism 3. Cancellation friction engineering. Every extra step in a cancellation flow, the confirmation screen, the pause option, the retention offer, the survey asking why you're leaving, is a documented, tested, deliberately placed obstacle. Studies show each additional cancellation step reduces churn by 4% to 7%. These steps do not exist for your convenience. They exist because your inconvenience generates measurable revenue. Here's what the subscription well drain actually costs. In numbers that do not lie, the average household carries between 12 and 17 active subscriptions at any given time. Of those, research consistently shows that 30% to 40% are either completely forgotten, actively in use, or retained purely because cancellation felt inconvenient the last time the charge appeared. On a $900 monthly subscription spend, that in use percentage represents roughly $270 to $360 every single month, automatically billed, silently compounding against your financial future. Over 1 year, $3,240 to $4,320. Gone. Not spent on experiences. Not spent on quality. Extracted automatically by retention systems on products delivering zero value to your daily life. Over 10 years, that same $300 monthly average redirected into a broad market index fund at historical average returns becomes approximately $57,000. Not a dramatic lifestyle change, not an unusual income. $300 a month, recovered from subscriptions you're not using, compounding quietly into genuine wealth. The subscription economy did not drain your budget dramatically. It drained it in amounts small enough to avoid detection and large enough, in aggregate, to alter your entire financial trajectory. You are not disorganized for losing track of your subscriptions. You are not undisciplined for accumulating more than you intended. You are not financially irresponsible for underestimating what you spend on recurring charges every month by a factor of 2 or 3. You are the intended outcome of a system specifically engineered to make oversight inevitable. The fragmented billing dates, some on the 3rd, some on the 17th, some on the last day of the month, are not administrative coincidence. They are structural. Consolidating charges onto a single visible date will make the total too easy to see and too easy to act on. The sub-$10 price points are not competitive pricing. They are cognitive camouflage. The free trial terms are not consumer-friendly policy. They are conversion architecture. You are not supposed to add all these numbers up. The system was designed around the near certainty that you never would. That is not a personal failure. That is a deliberately maintained information gap, engineered by retention teams who measure their success in dollars captured from users who never notice a charge. Here is what changes the moment you audit the system before it audits your bank account. There is a threshold, and crossing it flips the entire dynamic. When you have a complete, accurate, real-time picture of every recurring charge leaving your account monthly, the subscription economy loses its primary weapon against you: invisibility. The system cannot extract value from expenses you are actively, consciously evaluating every single month. Here is what that flip looks like in practice. You pull every recurring charge into a single visible list, not from memory, from your actual bank and card statements line by line for the last 90 days. That list, for most people, contains at least 2 to 4 charges they cannot immediately identify, and at least 3 to 5 they would not consciously choose to renew today. Canceling those charges does not require discipline. It does not require a budget overhaul. It requires one afternoon and the willingness to see the actual number. The system thrives in the gap between what you think you spend and what you actually spend. Close that gap and the drain stops. Not gradually. Immediately. The moment visibility replaces assumption. You stop being a passive revenue source and become someone a retention algorithm cannot reliably hold. Here are the exact steps. Executable today. No app required. Step 1. The 90-day statement audit. Open your last 3 months of bank and credit card statements. Highlight every recurring charge. Every single one. Do not rely on memory. Do not estimate. Pull the actual numbers. Most people find between $200 and $500 in charges they cannot immediately justify keeping. Step 2. Apply the 30-day rule to every line item. For each subscription, ask one question. Did I use this at least once in the last 30 days in a way that delivered clear, specific value? Not theoretically. Not occasionally. Actively and recently. Any subscription that fails that test gets canceled today. Not paused. Canceled. Step 3. Consolidate to a single payment card for all subscriptions. One card, one statement, one visible monthly total. This single structural change makes the aggregate number impossible to ignore going forward. Step 4. Schedule a quarterly audit. 30 minutes. Every 3 months. Same process. The subscription economy constantly adds new charges through trial conversions and price increases. The audit is not a one-time event. It is a permanent defensive practice against a system that never stops looking for re-entry points. The subscription wealth drain was never about what you chose to buy. It was about what you forgot to stop buying. And the entire infrastructure of the modern subscription economy, the fragmented billing dates, the sub-$10 price anchoring, the cancellation friction, the retention offers, was built around a near certainty that you would forget, that the charges would keep processing, that the revenue would keep flowing, invisibly, automatically, indefinitely. You are not someone who cannot manage money. You are someone who was handed a system specifically designed to defeat casual financial oversight and nobody handed you the manual for defeating it back. Now you have the manual. Every subscription you cancel this week is not just a saved expense. It is a recovered asset, one that compounds forward into something the retention algorithm never factored into its model. You, informed, auditing, refusing to fund a system built on your unawareness. That shift costs nothing except one afternoon and the willingness to see the real number. The real number, for most people, changes everything. If this exposed what you suspected but never calculated, subscribe. Because dismantling the financial systems quietly working against you is exactly what we do here every single week.